Welcome to the Temporary Insanity Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joshua Lewis Ferrara, William McCoy, and Sierra Tansy.
Welcome to Temporary Insanity. I am your host, Joshua Lewis Pereira. I had to throw that in because it's been a while, in case anybody forgot who I was. With me in studio today, we have our fearless co-hosts, Mr. William McCoy and Miss Sierra Rose Tansy. And we have missed you all tremendously. Oh, goodness.
We left?
I mean,
We didn't.
guys.
Been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Gaslit them until it's not our
You guys
fault.
haven't been listening. We have so many episodes out.
You know what's funny is, we actually, I don't know if we should take like long breaks like more frequently because I feel like because y'all missed us, like y'all started re-listening to like some of our episodes like
them
over and over again. It's like when you go into the show hole. So our writers went on strike. No, I'm just playing.
We just got back from the SAG, people at SAG, and they said we can podcast again. So
Well, we felt left out. Like, you know, like all our TV shows went on strike and went on pause. And so we decided to go on strike too. No, you know what? We took a little bit of a break, and we're so excited as we come back on with the podcast. We got some fresh content. We got a fresh layout for the podcast. I think we're going to have some fun. And quite frankly, Miss Sierra Rose came back a little feistier, I think, this season of Temporary Insanity. I don't know, just something in her voice. I have a feeling she's going to be feisty. I mean, she's gone through like a big impeachment over at the college and stuff like that. So now
I didn't get impeached.
she did not, but she was like the lead litigator. So like I don't know, now that like you know how like when a shark tastes the blood of human,
That's
you know,
ready.
like
I did the impeachment.
So she's fierce. She's like a force to be reckoned with. And you know, since we've been on, like the world has gone berserk. So I feel like there's just so much to talk about, and we're ready. We're ready to talk about the. It's not even temporary insanity. It's like just straight up just insanity.
It's just consistent insanity. We have to change the name of the podcast. Just consistent insanity.
Yeah. I mean, and so, but we have missed y'all. You know, William has been buckled down doing some studying. Sierra is rounding the corner to her graduation. Like actually, like last time we had spoken about graduation, she was like maybe gonna graduate because it was like you know like teeter-tottering on whole like hey.
I've been through the trenches.
Like the war to graduate.
Yeah, but she duked it out. I think she cut somebody. You know, and and now she's gonna graduate in
I had a whole
months.
FaceTime call with the dean of students today. I just wanted to let you know.
That's pretty. You're going all the way to the top.
Well, no, that was because I'm getting like death threats at school. So
That's fun. That's good.
And so we have gone through some major things. I mean, but it has been a while, and we have missed you guys. And so welcome to Temporary Insanity. And so, boy, where do we start? I mean, we're in March, and it's so fitting that March is the month of March Madness, because madness is definitely the way to go. So where do you guys want to start? We want to start with sports and entertainment. Do we want to start with I mean, Sarah came in kind of excited about her stuff. Where do we want to start today, guys?
my topic's just funny.
We can do sports entertainment because it's kind of a slow-ish week because not a lot of the big things kind of passed. We can touch on a little bit of stuff that happened in the last really month, I guess, or so. Because it's sad, football is over.
Yeah, but you know, with football, I'm going to push some of your buttons. I'm going to let you get started there, but I mean, we do have to rewind back to Super Bowl.
Oh, we will.
We will have to rewind back to because I have some strong opinions about what I called Swiftgate, but you know, but we'll
It wasn't even that bad. Everyone is so dramatic.
Yeah, I get it, but you know, but it's all you, man. So
we're gonna touch
we'll
on
turn it
the
over to
Swiftgate
sports
for sure.
with William McCoy. So part of some of our updates, just to give you guys. So we wanted to change up the program a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna keep giving you the current events and stuff, and we're gonna keep giving you like our twist on what's going on. Not a twist because we're giving you what's really going on, but. You know, part of the changes we're making to our program is going to include some sports and entertainment, spearheaded by my man William McCoy here, because as we all know, he's He's the movie buff. He's a sports fanatic. Our legal expert is here with us from week to week, and she's going to be bringing us some crazy stories or some stuff that just gets her riled up. I like it when Sierra gets fiery because, for those of you who don't know Sierra the way we know Sierra, when you get her going, it's an amazing time. And so, the law has been kind of crazy with certain stuff, and honestly, even within the church, like, the way the law attacks the church and stuff like that, we're going to be tackling some cool stuff like that. And of course, I'll continue to spearhead a lot of current events and things going on in politics. And Lord knows this year politics is going to get feisty and spicy. So we're trying to get our show to kind of give you a little bit of a buffet, But let's kick it off to sports with Mr. William McCoy. Guys, I'm looking back. We've been off the air since November. Our last episode was titled Thanksgiving 23. So we have a lot of ground to cover. A lot of stuff has happened. Joe Biden's had a lot of ice cream dates on the news, and we'll get to that when we get to current events. So go ahead, man. So what you got for sports, bro?
So I think what we should touch on, just to ease in a little bit, I'm going to try to do the broad spectrum of sports, basketball, football, hockey, baseball, Formula One maybe a little bit because there's some drama in there, believe it or not, if people like Formula One. I
respect you for going into the Formula One, man.
I love it.
You have a wide base.
I don't know why, but I love it. I got attached to it, so I watch it a lot. And they have a show on Netflix called Drive to Survive where it gives all the background drama. Fantastic. But I do want to touch on Taylor Swift and the Swiftgate that took over football, and especially the playoffs and Super Bowl. It's not a big deal. I've had time to calm down and think about it rationally. As much as I want to blame Taylor Swift, I forgive her. Because it's not her fault. In the moment, while I'm watching it, and every time Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelsey make a pass or make a catch, it flashes to Taylor Swift. And I was like, I want to stop seeing her. But she's just like us, guys. She's a fan. Her boyfriend is a football player. It's not her fault. Maybe it is, but it's not her fault. Unless she asked to be on camera, which to her and Travis Kelsey's credit, they did publicly say that they did not like as much the attention that was being put on Taylor Swift during the game. We really have to blame the NFL a little bit.
Well, they were opportunistic, man.
Very
they
opportunistic.
They were trying to make their money. They were trying to make their money
the
on
Super
it.
Bowl, though, I didn't feel like they showed her any more than they showed all the other significant others or any of the other celebrities that were there.
Well, so here's my thing with Taylor Swift, right? And honestly, I did not cheer for the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Matt, if you're listening. That's Sierra's uncle. Well, two reasons. One, my corporate partners in the business are from California, so I was cheering the Niners. It also brought me back some nostalgia from the days of Jerry Rice and stuff like that. Because I'm a Pats fan. I was born and raised in New England, so I'm always going to cheer for the Pats. But at the same time, like all this, Swift kind of did play a hand in that. And I'm not hating on her. I mean, look, it is what it is. I mean, she's a capitalist. She's doing what she's got to do. But like Travis Kelsey and stuff, but Travis Kelsey and Mahomes, I also don't want Mahomes to catch up to Brady's record, But at the same time, during the Super Bowl, like you see, like Travis Kelsey, yelling at the coach and getting all that was jacked up, that was really crazy. Messed up. So I mean, on top of that, for Swift, it just became a spectacle, But then there's the part about me that gets a little bit conflicted because as a man of faith, it's one of those things where it's like people talk about like the prayer before the game and that kind of stuff with Mahomes and so I was like, all right, I don't want to dog the dude, but then you see stuff like this, and this is how you could tie sports into pop culture. There was an article that came out on March 1st about Taylor Swift. I don't know how true it is. I'm just going to put this out there, but it was an article that came out entitled "Former Boy Band Star Accuses Taylor Swift of Performing Demonic Rituals During Concert." During
Harry
concerts.
Styles.
It must be, because who else did she date?
No, it was Shane Lynch of Irish group Boyzone. accuses Taylor Swift. So devout Christian and former boy band pop star Shane Lynch of Irish group Boyzone. I didn't even know Irish people had, and I'm not saying this to be offensive. I just didn't know they had like famous.
I was about to say a really bad joke, but maybe.
Accused Taylor Swift of performing demonic rituals during her concerts. The 47-year-old father of 2 daughters shared that he doesn't stop his daughters from listening to music. So, I mean, I don't know how convicted he is about it, because they have to learn for themselves, he said. He explains to them that music is dangerous. Lynch said his revelations are derived from what he witnessed throughout his successful years in the music industry. Boyzone racked up 6 UK #1 singles.
Successful, yeah, I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're UK's successful. So
9 #1 singles in Ireland. I mean, Ireland is tiny, so how hard is it to get like a #1 single in Ireland? Again, I'm sorry. I have to apologize. I'm not bad mouthing like y'all. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this.
I love the Irish.
I like their whiskey.
I am Irish.
When he didn't name only Swift, Lynch told Ireland's Sunday World, I think when you're looking at a lot of artists out there, so he's just bad. He's going after all of them, not just Taylor Swift. Satanic rituals live in front of 20,000 people without them realizing or recognizing it.
I mean, they do say the Swifties are cult-like.
They are.
They are.
But so are a lot of other fan groups.
That is true. The Beehive for Beyonce, they go kind of crazy.
The Directioners were also very cult-like.
Oh, here we go. He says, you'll see a lot of hoods up and masks on and fire ceremonies, he added. Even down to Taylor Swift, one of the biggest artists in the world. You'll watch one of her shows and she has 2 or 3 different demonic rituals. But I'm looking for...
But he hasn't once said what the demonic ritual is.
Well, because he's what he's explaining could be dismissed as pyrotechnics, which happen at many concerts.
Well, he's talking about like the appearance of it. I don't know. The article. I'll put the article up on our board, and you guys y'all can read it for yourselves. But I mean, Taylor Swift, tisk. Hope you're not doing any demonic rituals.
I have not seen a Taylor Swift concert, so I have no idea. The only one I've seen a part of was the one in the rain.
I was on Taylor Swift TikTok for a while, and I don't know why because I don't like her. But
are you a secret Swiftie?
I don't like her music. I bet she's a wonderful human.
I don't know.
My dad has met her, and he said that she's wonderful.
I just don't like how she like pops off sometimes on socials, being like
I like her
trying to be like an end all say all authority of like in politics and stuff. Like it's just wrong. I'm like, dude,
she does sway her people. Her Swifties do hang on her every word.
I like her old music. I think her new stuff is weird.
You know who is a secret Swift? Well, not so much of a secret Swiftie now is our boy Belichick.
Yeah, he's a Swiftie.
Has he gotten a job yet, dude?
No, he's not getting a job.
Is it true that Drake has been like smashing Taylor Swift all over social media lately?
Not that I saw. They on social media on Twitter /X, like the commercial him and Taylor Swift did back in like 2016 of Drake singing "Bad Blood." It's so funny.
That is funny.
I apologize. Let's get back on track. Back to sports.
Okay.
Back to sports.
But yeah, I don't feel like it was any different than showing the other significant others.
Yeah, I will give them that. I was expecting it to be far worse. I thought it was going to be like every 5 seconds that they were going to be showing Miss Swift.
I feel like they showed Ice Spice just as much. But to be fair, that could be because Ice Spice was sitting right behind Taylor.
Yeah, she was sitting next to her, so it was like, Ice Spice, get out the way. We're trying to just get a shot of Taylor. Yeah, I don't know. Now that when I was in it, I didn't like it at all. Now that my head's kind of clear from football, I think the hate that she got from it was a little much. Because again, she's the fan at that point, like everyone else. She's up in the owner's boxes,
she's
like
being a supportive girlfriend,
right? And I think she was getting a lot of hate for it. Again, she didn't have the camera on her, and I was listening to another podcast, and they were saying, like, why would Taylor Swift need the NFL to give her more screen time?
Yeah. She's got it. She's got it down.
She's on a sold out world tour.
So what I've been saying from the beginning of everyone being really mad about this is when Travis Kelsey was going to like every single one of her concerts, everyone was just talking about how great of a boyfriend he was, how supportive he was, this, and this. But she goes to his football games and everyone's all pissed off about it, and she's a monster and she's an awful human, this, and this. But at her concerts,
I think
he was objectively shown just as much on the big screen as she is in these football games.
I think it's two things. With that one, Travis said that he was a fan of Taylor Swift beforehand, and now you're going from a fan base who are mostly, I'm guessing, women and young teenage girls, looking at a boyfriend coming to support a concert. So it's cute, it's lovely, it's adorable, it's so supportive. The other one is Taylor Swift, as far as I know, has not shown up to many football games. She was an
Eagles fan, I'm pretty sure.
Even worse. And now it's like Taylor Swift shows up consistently to a football game, steals the spotlight, quote unquote, even though she's not the one telling the cameras to be on her. So now the NFL, and then you hear on ESPN, it's more about Taylor Swift than it is about stats. And Taylor Swift's hanging out with Travis Kelsey's mom and Ice Spice and Patrick Mahomes' wife and brother. So now sports is now not about sports, now it's about Taylor Swift. And now you have I'm assuming, diehard fan, at least, male-dominated audience saying, who's this random pop star billionaire who's now taking over my stats when I want to hear Stephen A. Smith tell me how many yards Patrick Mahomes threw, not how many times Taylor Swift was shown on the screen. So I think that's where the hate came from. And again, unless Taylor Swift, I don't know what strings she pulls. Unless she's calling up ESPN and says, "Hey, tell everyone that's listening today how many times you showed me on screen." I can't get mad. I can't get mad at her.
Well, but they're rallying up a whole different generation of viewers too. I mean, think about it. I mean, Swift Nation, I mean, probably doesn't really comprise of a lot of NFL viewers. I mean, think about how many more viewers they got just on that alone.
The NFL also is kind of playing into this hate a little bit. Like they made
100%.
They made a whole Taylor Swift ex NFL Super Bowl commercial that I know a lot of people weren't very happy about.
Yeah.
It was like the joke. I forgot who made the joke, but it's like you make merch for both sides, so you're always winning. Like you make the I love Taylor Swift and I hate Taylor Swift.
The commercial was
and then you send whatever doesn't make it, it's like they do for the Super Bowl. The losing team's jerseys all get sent to Africa or something.
Well, the commercial was a dad and a daughter, and the daughter was ignoring the Super Bowl, and then the dad got her a jersey that said Swift on it or something, and it was a Chiefs jersey, and then they watched the Super Bowl together because he convinced her Taylor Swift was gonna be there.
And those are the same people that show her on the camera 5
I was
times.
This is definitely riling up these middle-aged men a lot more.
100%.
Yeah, but look, Super Bowl is over. I guess everybody's feelings are feeling better. I mean, now on the topic of football, what do you think of Matt Slater from the Patriots retiring? You heard about that?
I did hear about that. I'm not surprised, really.
I mean, he was I think it said 158th. He was picked 158th in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not.
2008 draft. I'm
not surprised. He's had his time. I don't think he's making any big contracts anytime soon.
But here's the thing: he's 38 years old, so I'm feeling a little bit of a connection here because I'm going to be 37. What I love about this story here is, and I'll put this story up on our page as well. He's retiring with goals to go into seminary. So he's actually retiring to go into the ministry. So so in a way he's kind of pulling a Tebow. It says that in his career, Belichick called him the perfect player. But I mean, 2008, that's a long career, man.
That's a long career. That's a long time. And he had his moments when he was a very good player. So he definitely put in his work. And I mean, if he wants to retire into a ministry role, I mean, I don't see a better time to do it and a better reason. I am known to my friends and family as not a Patriots hater, a Patriots disliker.
Oh,
but
man. And I still
one thing I do respect about the Patriots that I've heard is that they're very they don't shy away from bringing faith to the team, to those who want it. Like they have a traveling minister, traveling pastor with them that it's at their home and away games, and I know a lot of teams don't do that, but I know the Patriots do. So I mean, good on them. I guess I can give my brownie point for that. Everything else, not a Patriots fan.
Hi, yes, I hate all sports.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
And that's why you don't run the sports
I am
segment.
just here right now.
Yeah, that's why you don't run the sports segment.
I don't know what's happening any of the time.
Oh, gosh. No, look, it's crazy when you see, good for him, good career, and let's see if he brings that same drive. I love watching athletes do things after their careers because to be at that level of performance, it's like a whole different mentality. So good for him. Let's see what he does for the kingdom of God, man. What else you got, Mr. William?
I got a more recent one. It's actually hockey. I don't really watch hockey too much.
This is the sport I like.
Oh, well, then you just
I was
You don't hate all
okay.
sports.
Actually, no. I don't actively watch hockey. When I was a child, my dream was to be a hockey player, and my parents said no.
I mean, that's probably maybe smart because of the story I'm gonna tell you. There is
And you get to keep all your teeth.
I know, but I could have been a dope hockey player for like URI or something.
Yeah, with like half your teeth missing.
Yeah.
Would have to talk to Justin about some veneers.
there is a hockey player, a rookie I believe, for the Rangers, and correct me if I'm wrong in any of these stats or if I pronounce his name wrong. I think it's Matt Rempe. It's Rempe, so I don't know if it's Rempe or Rempe. So he plays for the Rangers, and this is this big stink because what is hockey known for?
Fights.
So this guy is an enforcer.
They've gotten messed up with the fights. They don't even let them fight like they used to, man. They used to let you duke it out.
And this is why this is becoming a problem because this guy is an enforcer and he is a fighter. So he's gotten a bunch of fights in the minor league, but he's up in with the Rangers. And in his first 7 games, he got into 4 fights, which is like, okay, fine. They're out there duking. But there's one story that I was reading that was funny to me is that I guess pre-game during stretches and warm-ups, he was beefing with, talking junk to another player on the opposite team. And so they're like, well, as soon as we get on the ice, we're going to duke it out. So as soon as the game started, they dropped gloves and duked it out. Like no goals, first 5 seconds, they're duking it out. And now sports fans, I guess, and commentators are like, is hockey too violent? Like, are they fighting too much in hockey?
Can't they make that same argument about lacrosse?
True.
Yeah,
but lacrosse is not as popular. So
but I mean, hockey.
But this dude's getting beat up. He's getting black eyes.
How are we gonna say hockey is too violent when competitive boxing exists and wrestling?
This is the society we live in, guys. I mean, everything's so kumbaya. It's like I don't know. Hockey is hockey. I mean, there are people. When I was a kid, we didn't go to watch the hockey game. We used to go to watch them duke it out on the ice.
I'll admit it's a little far to be like, when we're on the ice, I'm literally just gonna start fighting you. Because hockey, all the fights start from aspects of the game that you're currently playing. These guys, from what I'm hearing, basically just said, I don't like you right now.
Yes.
When the game starts, we're gonna fight because
Absolutely.
I'm allowed to fight you.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's becoming a problem because it's the only sport where, it's not boxing. So the prime point is not to fight.
Yeah, you get put out of the game for a period of time if you fight.
So and then that kind of defeats the purpose. Okay, if you're in the heat of the moment, we'll let you duke it out. It's a penalty. But if you're gonna start if he's gonna start fighting people first 5 seconds, it might dilute the game. Fine. But I think it's a problem because hockey's the only sport of that caliber that allows fighting as a second mechanism of the sport.
It's literally, you're either playing hockey or you're fighting.
Yeah.
No, you're right. But I mean, I don't know. But that it goes back to all this, it goes back to a societal shift, right? The societal shift where it's it's zero tolerance and everything, right? Even when you have a misunderstanding now, it's everything's super sensitized and I don't know. But hey, an enforcer's job is an enforcer's job, and I don't know what happens to hockey when you start doing that. I mean, the enforcer's job is to keep his other players safe. He does that through brute force, What do? You ask him okay, guy, can you please, not rough up my...
Not rough him up, guy. Come on, guy.
Hey, talking about fighting, are you old enough to know Hulk Hogan?
I know who he is.
Oh, boy. You break my heart every time we talk about these old timers. Like, because I used to love Hulk Hogan in the WWF. I'm sorry, the WWE. I'm sorry. What are they calling themselves these days? I don't know.
I think
they keep getting changed. Are they still the WWE?
They are, but they've been bought by Netflix, so that's probably going to change.
I'm not a
soon.
WWE person. I probably wouldn't have even known him anyway.
When we were kids, I mean, Hulk Hogan was the man, So Hulk Hogan, there was an article out where Hulk Hogan became a huge. So I'm rewatching because of all this stuff. Since we're talking about entertainment, I'm rewatching Walker, Texas Ranger. Okay. Yes, laugh it up. Everybody who's listening is like, oh, yeah. But, like, you go into these show holes. So I'm rewatching, like, all the feel-good shows of, like, the 90s and stuff like that. So Chuck Norris, man, nothing like a good roundhouse kick. Yeah. And so, actually, like, yesterday or the day before, I had just finished watching an episode where Hulk Hogan was guest starring, and he opened a Christian community center. Well, recently there's an article out where Hulk Hogan's top priority now is being a messenger for my Lord and Savior. So my man Hulk Hogan is out there spreading John 3:16. Big article out March 1st, and he's recently. I think the last thing I've seen. I mean, after Walker Texas Ranger, outside of Walker, and after the WWE, I mean, we see things like with his daughter and he was like big into like reality TV shows.
Like his family was on a show.
Yeah. But he's basically going out there and he's rededicated his life to Christ a while back, and he's basically taken all his fame and going out there and just spreading the gospel. So I mean, there's a really cool article about that. He's doing some big things. He's really being bold about it. But Hulk Hogan, man. Hulk Hogan, imagine how cool it would be. Kind of cool to see like some of these old guys, like the Undertaker, come out. And
if the Undertaker started, that'd be too much.
Like the old WWE.
That would be so. That would be it.
You know what used to kill me though is like I don't want to be that guy, but like when I was a kid, you could see like if you had actual eyes and that you opened to watch the wrestling, you could see them like stomping on the mat when they were hitting each other. Like you could see how fake wrestling really was. And like, but till this day, I still have like all those friends that were like, no, it was real. It was so real. It was so real. But yeah, Hulk Hogan is out there spreading the word, man. He says God was with him even when he was not committed to God. He was with me through all the tough stuff, and his message to everybody is that God can be with you through the tough stuff. And that I like this article because it goes hand in hand with our program, Temporary Insanity. God's with you through the tough stuff. So people. You're hearing it here. If Hulk Hogan says it, it must be true.
It must be true.
If you're going through some tough stuff, God can be with you.
He went through some tough stuff. He was in some hot water. He was running his mouth saying some wild things back between WWE and now. So that's good. You see, I mean, you're starting to see that more and more. Like these athletes who've, at the end of their career are now turning more towards, the gospel. And it's interesting because where was this in the midst of their career? Because like people like, oh, God's always been there, but I was focused on my playing or my wrestling or whatever, and then they kind of get out and they're ready to settle down. And they're like, oh, now I'll just focus on ministry.
Well, what I'm noticing more and more now is that the country as a whole is got a longing for something, and a lot of times what it is that the country doesn't know what it's longing for, right? Like we know as a people that something's missing, and there's a thirst, and we're ripe for a revival. We're ripe for the opportunity to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. And what helps us is, and what I love to see is when you see people that have status, like you see this guy retiring from the Patriots who's got status. You see Hulk Hogan. You see like these different actors and athletes and different people who start going and spreading the gospel, in a real evangelical way, not like off the wall.
Not Kanye way.
Yeah, not like these off the wall. Exactly, not the Kanye way, like trying to do self promotion. And then you see the church unite, and as a church, we have to unite to do the same thing. If we start to really live Matthew 28 and live the Great Commission, where we start to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, really live the message of John 3:16. The world is looking for that. The world is looking for even in politics. Like if we start to see politicians cast aside like the agenda, and put into play, this united front, where it has this get rid of the nonsense, get rid of the wishy-washy stuff that keeps coming in, that keeps kind of watering down what this country was founded upon. The country's looking for that, and the sad part is that the minority in this country has a loud voice, but the vast majority isn't looking for that. The vast majority isn't looking for all this sensitivity stuff. The vast majority of the country is not looking for all this wokeness. The vast majority is looking for that firm foundation that we once had. And I think this is going to be a big year, but it's not my time yet. When I get to my time, we'll talk about some of that. I want to go into party time with Miss Sierra. So
party time.
Literally, because you're saying that.
Oh, yeah. I have two.
Go ahead.
Kind of two. So the first thing I was going to touch on, it's a case called Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Derek Lee. This one's kind of dark.
Uh-oh.
Well, not really dark. So basically what happened, Derek Lee was a part of a robbery in which someone died. And in the state of Pennsylvania, if somebody dies during during a crime, you automatically get sentenced to life without parole. So this case is fun because it's a Constitution case, which basically always gets sent to the Supreme Court. He's claiming that his Eighth Amendment was violated because he thinks that life without parole for something that he didn't do, because he didn't actually kill the guy, is a cruel punishment. So there's not much on this case yet, but I always like hearing what people's thoughts and opinions on stuff like this is, because it's kind of a big topic, especially Josh likes talking about the Constitution and stuff.
Yeah.
So it says, in 2014, Mr. Lee was convicted of felony murder for his alleged participation in a robbery that led to a death that he did not commit and sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. He's challenging the constitutionality of his sentence under the Eighth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and the Pennsylvania Constitution, which prohibits cruel punishment. The last update on this was in February 16th of 2024, where the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania decides in Derek's favor, granting allowance of appeal. And this was on the Center for Constitutional Rights website.
Well, I'm a little surprised. I'm actually a little surprised. So, I mean, anyone involved in the commission of a crime, especially resulting in you're there. I mean, he had a choice, right? His choice was to be party to that crime or not to be party to that crime, and he chose to be party to the crime, and somebody died as a result. So I'm actually very surprised that they granted him that.
If this was the Supreme Court of the United States, this dude would not win.
No.
Would not win. Absolutely not.
But I mean, honestly, I think in most cases, the Supreme Court would have, because that's a state. It goes back to the state and a lot of because it's not really something that they would. But I mean, that's and it's funny because I look at it and I'm like, and I get it, as a believer. I look at it from I try to look at things from the eyes of grace, we get a second, a third, and a fourth chance, but but you're conflicted because then you look at it from but sin is sin, when people ask you which sin is worse in the Ten Commandments, but no, they're all equally bad, you commit one sin, there's no sin greater than the other sin, but fortunately we serve a God that forgives you of all your sin, But
to be fair, though, they just agreed to hear the appeal. They could decide after they hear all the facts that he's still guilty.
I'm gonna play the other side just for fun of conversation. Does it give any details of how the victim passed?
No, it doesn't. I don't know if they can give out that information at this point. It does say a little more. It says the application of the felony murder rule, which holds liable for murder a person who participates in a felony that leads to a death, is particularly extreme in Pennsylvania because the mandatory minimum sentence is life without parole. This contributes to the state's status as a world capital of death by incarceration.
Because the only thing obviously, if I'm trying to play for what's his name, Lee, Mr. Lee. I guess the questions you'd ask is, I guess, when did the death happen and when does a crime begin and end?
Yeah, so you also kind of need to look at. So if this were to go to the Supreme Court of the United States, they would look at other cases to decide how this one will rule. And in almost every situation, the person ends up getting life.
Yeah, because it's hard because the dude died while you're in the commission of a crime.
I am personally,
it's tough to overturn it.
Under the impression that if he didn't kill him, he should be charged with the felony that he's doing.
Right. So like if he like robbed this dude and then he ran away, then like the dude had like a heart attack out of shock. Did he kill him? Yes, in the crime.
Technically, but like
if he's running away, is the crime over? And then
here's where, and this is the kind of to the point. This is kind of to the conundrum that I was facing. Like, you know, fortunately, God doesn't think like we do because He's a God of grace. But at the same time, I'm also of the persuasion where you did the crime, you do the crime, you got to do the time. Like, listen, man.
But in this argument, he's not doing the crime. He's doing the time for a crime he technically didn't commit. But did he choose
to be part of the posse that went to rob this person? Listen, don't touch my stuff.
I don't know if it was like
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? You know, in what universe is it okay to steal somebody else's stuff? You want something, go buy it. You know, don't be stealing other people. Listen, you know, let's add some personal interaction to this, right? So, you know, you were a few minutes late coming here because of something that happened at home, right? Mm-hmm. I told, and which was ironic because last night I had the same thing happen at my home. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me irate because I don't understand how people could steal. If it ain't yours, don't touch it. You know? Last night, 1:30 in the morning, I'm sitting up in my office and I'm working on my computer, and my neighbor calls me like 2 times back to back, blows up my phone. I get to my phone, I answer my phone, and he tells me, "Josh, come outside." I'm like, all right, I'm thinking he's gotten some kind of problem. Well, on his camera, which is directly across the street from my home, he catches a dude going into my truck. Literally opening my door and going into my truck. It makes me irate. Why are you going into my truck?
He's a man or woman of opportunity.
You know? So it's like, you know, so for me, you do the crime, you do the time. You had no business being up in my truck. Just like this Mr. Lee had no business robbing these people. And if this person died while this man was participating in something he should not have been doing, listen, you don't want to spend your life in prison? Don't do something. Don't be where you ain't supposed to be. Don't do something you're not supposed to be doing. And this is why I say in the church many a time, thank God that I am not God. Because God is merciful.
Jail. No
God
parole,
is merciful. Because, you know, when if I was God and people are like repenting of their sin, I'd have to think about it. Like, I got to think about this one for a minute because, you know, you're a really bad dude, you know? And thank God that God's grace is sufficient, you know?
This case is like locked. There's nothing on it other than that little piece.
Yeah, because they don't want the court of public opinion to be going all crazy right now. But Mr. Lee,
rob people.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Best of luck.
You know, you do the crime, you got to do the time. Hopefully Pennsylvania got some good food up in their prison system.
No, they don't. It's school food. Switching down to Miami.
Maybe they got tots.
This isn't a court case. But Miami is supposedly trying to cancel spring break.
Oh, to all you college kids, we apologize.
Well, not cancel spring break, but they're trying to get people not...
Deter
they're
people.
trying to send people somewhere else. They're sick of being the spring break hotspot, basically.
No more bad decisions for young
kids. Specifically, what happened last year, there were like over 400 guns seized from different people.
Goodness.
Like 2 people died in active shootings. And it was crazy.
And Miami said, "We are closed."
Literally, they put out.
Please no more.
So Miami Beach put out an ad. Maybe we can like post the ad somewhere. But Miami Beach posted out an ad. Basically, it was like kind of like a breakup ad where Miami was like breaking up with its tourists.
Kind of funny, but kind of like slightly like.
They were like, "You're the problem, we're not," and I was like, "I get it, but this was a bit in bad taste."
Hey, we don't want you up here murdering people again.
But I bet you they didn't mind when they were spending their tourist money, did they?
No, this is when she gets in the details. This is why I think Miami is slightly genius, is in the best win-win situation.
So I'm looking at the article from the Wall Street Journal,
which is all about the money.
So it says the longtime spring break destination has released an ad campaign urging visitors to rethink their travel plans if they plan to drink in public or get rowdy. So they don't care if people go there. They just want the partying to end pretty much.
They're going to turn it into a dry city.
Yeah. So in the ad, it says, "This isn't working anymore, and it's not us, it's you. Our idea of a good time is relaxing on the beach, hitting up the spa, or checking out a new restaurant. You just want to get drunk in public and ignore laws. Do you even remember what happened last March? This was our breaking point, so we're breaking up with you."
Oh, boy.
So last March, like I kind of said, Miami during this time declared an official state of emergency and imposed a temporary curfew because of shootings near the city's beachfront, leaving at least 2 people dead. So this ad basically warns spring breakers that this year they can expect curfews, bag checks, restricted beach access, DUI checkpoints, over $100 parking fees, and strong police activity to combat any drug possession and violence. On top of this, the city is also running an anti-tourism campaign.
Which is wild because Miami is a tourist spot.
Crazy. Which focus on Miami-Dade.
Yeah, Miami-Dade, yeah.
Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. And
Wow, those are like the 3 biggest counties
states.
there. That's all the tourist counties.
So basically, Miami's putting up a bunch of like anti-spring break propaganda, ads, marketing campaigns, which is basically supposed to be educating people about like the dangers of public drinking and public partying. But really, it's a way to scare people from going to Miami.
But here's the thing: I don't think it will.
I don't think it's gonna work.
It's not because they forget that we live in the age of the internet, and what the people on the internet love to do is when you tell them not to do something, they will double down and do it, which is fine because all those people are gonna go down there and pay $100 parking. Mm-hmm. They're all gonna get arrested and fined.
I feel like parking's already so expensive there anyway.
Or they're gonna Uber, man. They're gonna fly down there. They're gonna walk and they're gonna Uber.
So Melissa Berthier, director of the Office of Marketing and Communications for the city of Miami Beach, which I didn't know Miami Beach was a city. I thought it was just Miami.
Well, Miami's got a bunch of little subsets. Yeah.
That's kind of like East Providence.
Yeah, exactly.
For the city of Miami, and she said, "We hope that everyone who sees this campaign understands that the city of Miami Beach really does not want to be a spring destination. We are not mincing words. Expect curfews, beach closures, DUI checkpoints, and arrests for drug possession and violence. If you are coming to Miami Beach to cause trouble or go wild, don't come. We really can't tolerate another year like last year."
Well, I mean, to a degree, I understand where they're coming from. I mean, look.
I get it.
I mean, you're coming into, like, I look at it from the perspective, like, you're guests in our house, right? Like, you come to visit, like, look, we had the big bridge closure thing here in East Providence, right? And we got all upset because everybody had to get off the highway and use our city to get, and we're still going through it. And it messed up our routines. It messed up our traffic. And they weren't even bringing guns and killing people. Like, they were just causing, like, a disruption in our traffic patterns. Like, I could imagine, like, the residents of Florida being irate about, okay, fine, we want you to come and do the tourism thing. We want you to come in and enjoy our beaches, but don't bring, like, all the nonsense with you. Like, don't, you guys be killing people and trashing our town.
Spring break is supposed to be fun. I feel like everyone's just ruining it for everyone.
Right.
Especially, like, the native Floridians.
Right.
Like, my cousin used to go to school in Florida, and, like, I feel like this would have just been ruined for her.
Right.
She was still down there.
Like, people, like, I can imagine they're looking at it from the perspective, like, we live here. Like, this is my home. Like, I don't want you to be, like, trashing it.
And
like,
I think Miami is already such a popular tourist destination. They don't need spring break to, like, help their economy or something. It's making their economy worse.
well,
I never understood
college
spring
kids
break.
are broke. What money they got? They want.
I never understood spring break culture. Like, my spring break is next week, and I'm, like, sleeping.
Remember?
Well, but you're also a mom with a toddler, so
Before I was a mom with a toddler.
But I mean, even more now. Like, I remember when I first had my kids, I was like, like, that was my highlight. Like, when I was in, because I mean, I had my kids when I was in college too, and I was like, my idea of a good time was like having that extra couple hours. Like, I don't have to go anywhere. Like, all right,
and Kayla's on spring break this week, and she's like going around Rhode Island eating crab ragoon. So truly, like,
but she's like a little foodie though. So
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying
but that doesn't surprise. Like, for those of you who know Kayla, that doesn't surprise us at all.
This is what people need to be doing.
Like,
forget about Miami and just go on crab ragoon tours.
It reminds me, good for you, Florida. Put your foot. Call in the National Guard, baby. Show
Put
these
them to
kids.
work. Put them to work.
And it's like, it reminds me of this little place called Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it's just crazy. It's just
I do
crazy.
think the ad was in very
very poor taste.
Very poor taste. I get where they were coming from.
It was very Karen of them.
It was not even that. It was very jokey.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole, like, I understand why they did it, and it would have been great if they didn't make it such a
And
joke.
it was so smug.
Yeah, because in it they showed like videos and like body cam footage of what happened last year, and that's why I'm like, you have to make up your mind.
Maybe they should have pulled like a whole Gina Raimondo in Rhode Island, just 3 words like "knock it off."
Yeah, I was like, is this like?
Hey, Spring Breakers, knock it off.
I was like, is this supposed to be a sad ad or a happy, fun ad? You
Like,
gotta make up your
are we
mind.
supposed to laugh?
Yeah.
This ad is very bipolar. I'm not sure how to feel.
It was. I watched it before I came. I was like, if I want to talk about this ad, I should probably
It's kind of confusing.
probably watch
I don't
it.
want to go to Miami anymore. I'm confused. I'm just gonna
Like,
stay home.
I'm good. Maybe that was their point. Maybe they're just
confused.
confusing it. It definitely a part of me wants to know is like, are these just threats? Like, are they just like, if you come here, you're gonna get fined, or are they like actually doing it?
Well, I don't know because the states love giving just idle threats. You know, like up here they have the "don't block the box" $500 fine. Every morning, people block that box. I don't see anyone getting fined. I see nobody getting fined.
I'm a box blocker.
See, you're part of the problem.
I'm part of the problem, not the solution.
It's because of you that we have that sign.
No,
Talking bad about you every
Sometimes
morning.
though, not that block. Like the one in Barrington. Sometimes, Sometimes I'll accidentally block the box because I think I have more room in front of me than I do, and then I'm like, damn. And then I'll try to back up, but the person behind me,
You could block those boxes.
yeah.
the
We don't care
person
about
behind me
them.
We
will
only
go
care
right
about
up
the
to my
boxes in
bumper.
East
I'm like,
Providence.
dude, I was trying to back up, so I wasn't blocking the box. Come on now. And now I drive a big car, so.
But again, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, these kids, like, why? Like, you're going down to have a good time, like,
So they're calling this whole ad thing demarketing. Demarketing because they were marketing Miami as like a big party spot, and now they're trying to basically back up on it. So Simon Hudson, a professor of tourism and hospitality at the University of South Carolina, talked about how he said that I've seen over the last decade or so a number of destinations moving toward more destination management as opposed to promotion because of what they call over-tourism or just over-capacity. A lot of it is because the residents are complaining, and if you don't have happy residents, you don't have happy tourists. It won't be a successful destination.
You know whose fault this all is? Sticking on entertainment, MTV.
Real.
Remember when they did the old parties down in
MTV
Cancun
Cribs.
and down in Miami, making it
Hasn't
cool?
done that in a while, though.
That's what started it all off.
I believe we should. I believe we should be making a move towards this, making a big push towards the staycation.
I hate tourists.
I love a good
Staycation. You kids in college, do a staycation. Go home, do your laundry, take a bath because you stink. Like, get yourself prepared for the next semester. Go
Genuinely
take a staycation.
hate tourists. Like Rhode Island, it's not that big of a touristy location, but sometimes I'll see people walking around Providence. I'm like, dude,
You can tell they don't belong.
like, what are you doing? You're gonna get shot,
for?
bro. Calm down.
Don't go down that alley, please.
I
Sir.
was like, please don't go over
I
there.
never did spring break. I was married. I had kids. I mean,
I was broke.
Yeah,
so
man,
I
I'm
didn't
too
do spring
busy
break.
for spring break,
my
man.
spring break was work. I work.
I work
raising
for a
my
school
children.
newspaper. I don't get spring break.
Yep. Well, so Florida has officially put the closed sign. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna find
Good
a
for
place
Florida.
like Tulsa, Oklahoma, or something like that.
Maybe we'll see less Florida men.
We're gonna do his desert parties now. Some in the middle of nowhere.
Go
This
party it up in
Burning Man.
Arizona.
Let's do Burning Man for every spring break.
Phoenix. Is Chicago the next Florida?
Oh, you don't want to go to Chicago, get shot in the middle of the street. They're not worried about the kids coming to.
I'm trying to think what the next Florida is going to be. I mean,
gonna
telling you, it's gonna be the
LA
middle
is
of the desert.
probably
Well,
Hampton.
LA.
Hampton Beach in New Hampshire, maybe, but it's cold right now in New
It is-
Hampshire,
it
so
is too
probably
cold.
not.
Well, because they had Cancun, but Mexico's acting up right now. So they're going to Cancun.
Who else?
New Mexico, maybe New
Atlanta.
Mexico.
No, there's not a beach. They need
There's
somewhere
no
that there's
beach
a
in
beach,
Atlanta.
though.
Oh yeah, Atlanta's not on
They'll
the.
just get pools or something. It'll be pool parties instead.
I
What
guess.
is on like the what has beaches? I'm trying to think
They're
of
gonna
all
go-
the
they're
stuff.
gonna go into Texas and go.
I'm trying
go
to think of the states on the border.
Maybe
with
Myrtle
beach.
Beach.
Wait, why don't
Myrtle Beach can be
you know
something.
who loves stuff like that? California. Why
Yeah,
don't
there's
we just go kill it in
California, but California, everything's expensive in California.
And I feel like it is. Well, okay.
More expensive than Florida.
Miami, yeah. But I guess like if you beggars can't be choosers, you get kicked out of one place, you gotta go
Gotta
to the
go to
next.
another LA. Here it come.
They've closed
What's
it
the
down.
big beach in LA? Or
Santa Monica,
yeah,
Here, right? Santa
maybe.
Monica Beach
I think
down?
so. Yeah.
Well, California's got a giant coast, so I mean, there's plenty of beach to go around. I guess they could just start on one end and just get kicked out.
I think what we're gonna start
up and down
seeing
the coast.
during spring break, I feel like a lot of businesses are just gonna close for the week. It's gonna be like closed. Sorry, we don't serve college kids here.
Oh, metal detector.
But also, what I've
Something,
noticed
that's
is
crazy.
a lot of the time, people on spring break aren't actually college kids. They're just like whole adults that take that week off to go party with a bunch of college
Midlife
kids.
crisis.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a bunch of. Didn't they make a movie out of that with was it Seth Rogen and Zac Efron? Maybe.
Oh my God, no, I don't think it was spring break. It was Seth Rogen and
Wait, they were on
his
like college campus or something.
his wife and his children moved into the house over from a frat.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, same thing.
And so they basically just got into fights with the frat house, which, real. I hate the frat boys at my house. They're all at my house, at my school. They're all annoying.
Say, what frat boys do you have at your house?
No,
He hates them all.
hate them all.
Are you calling Ethan a frat boy? Although my son,
Ethan gives frat boy vibes.
I mean, my son's a little frat boy sometimes, but
Aiden does give frat boy.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to college. He's gonna be head of some.
He's gonna be a
house.
frat boy, dude.
Yep.
Sigma Phi, here he comes.
Keg stands. Here he comes.
oh boy! All right, let's talk about some current events. Well, tie this all together. So, as we can see, this country is going towards some major moves in the world of politics. We're going into election year, so it's going to be firing up.
Isn't today like Super Tuesday? Something like that.
Super Tuesday.
Today is a Tuesday.
It's Super Tuesday.
It is Super Tuesday. You're going to start seeing things fired up. I mean, I think the last time we spoke about things getting fired up, I was trying to give my 2 cents, and I stand behind what I said, but. You can tell people are getting tired. My 2 cents was originally that Mr. Trump should be a kingmaker. I thought that he should just, maybe be a kingmaker, throw his support behind DeSantis. Since that comment that I made, DeSantis has gracefully.
There is a big name running. It's not only Trump and Biden. Kennedy, his nephew.
Yeah, but
I'm honestly.
He's running as an independent.
I follow him on
independent
TikTok,
guy,
man. I'm kind of here for it. Okay,
He's in with the TikTokers.
He's
so
in with the
he's-
TikTokers.
Look,
His
All he has to do is
ad
get-
was
He's
convincing.
like Taylor
I'm gonna-
Swift on
I'm
his
gonna tell you-
side. He's
I'm
a
gonna tell you something
showing.
right now. This country is so thirsty for change right now, and this is what I mean. This is what I mean when I tell you when I made that comment about how it's a minority group in this country that wants all this wokeness. It is so crazy and desperate for change that Trump, even with the baggage that he has, is sweeping the nation with his approval ratings to the point where even Democrats are registering as Republicans to vote for the man. You're seeing things hit the news like him meeting with religious leaders. Reinstating his promises like he did the last time around of bringing Christianity back to the forefront of where it was. Franklin Graham meets with Trump while preaching the gospel on tour. I mean, this is huge. It's huge stuff that's happening here. You see things happening like Trump talking about how the cross of Christ, no one will be touching the cross of Christ. There's an article that came out, when was this? February 24th, where Trump talks to the national religious broadcasters at the international convention, where he's talking about how he's reaffirming how, at the forefront of his campaign, at the forefront of his presidential election, if he gets elected, he brings back to the table, everything that he had instated before. So I mean, the nation is hungry for a lot of this stuff. The nation is hungry to kind of go back to a place where we had like a lot of this normality. And I know it's a very unpopular thing that I'm saying.
I like putting my reminder in here when Josh starts talking about Trump that I am not a Trump fan. I just need to throw it out there to anger all of our old men viewers.
Look, I always rest
need
as
them to come at me.
independent, so I roll with neither Democrats or the Republicans.
Listen,
Hashtag Kennedy 2020.
Look, I don't
Hashtag
conform-
Kennedy.
I don't conform with any party, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you're looking at a candidate, all right, and you're looking at the future of our country, you got to go for the guy who's gonna do the job the best. And right now, that guy, in my opinion,
I don't think it's either of them.
Trump lost me when he's trying to drop those ugly shoes at sneaker con.
Trump lost me when he became a convicted felon.
Oh, come on.
Just saying, I'm not going to vote for a convicted felon.
That's on brand with the lawyer.
Just saying.
Future lawyer.
Just saying.
Yeah. So
I think there should be rules that he can't even run, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, but let's look at real news instead of the fake news.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just saying.
But how is it fake news when there was a whole trial, dude?
First and
He
foremost,
got a mugshot, which is hilarious.
It's a good mugshot.
I know many people have mugshots. All right, I know many people have mugshots. All right, I'm just saying. But you know, you got to look at the track records in terms of actual what they've done. You got to look at track records of GDP. You got to look at track records of policy.
What he's done, convicted felon.
Look, I would probably invite Trump to the cookout, but we'll see what happens when
Trump is blocked.
You're a better man than I wouldn't invite him to the cookout. I don't want to be his boy.
No,
but I would hire him to be I'd hire him to be like the CEO of the country. But I wouldn't hire him to be my. I wouldn't bring him to be
on the grill with the apron with his mugshot on it, with those shoes that he tried to put out. I need him there.
His mugshot's so
I don't know, guys. I don't know. In terms of current events, this guy's killing it. He's got a clear and
I can hear the comments now. All the old men are gonna.
He has been killing it. I mean, you can't argue with the.
I mean, you can see
with the results.
You can see he's clearly trying to make a.
Yeah, what's the age demographic of all these people that like him? Just out of curiosity, what's the gender demographic of all these people that like him? Just out of curiosity.
Well, the gender demographic is quite vast. I mean, it's not a boys' club. There's plenty of women who love Trump as well. You know, age demographic spans from middle aged up. Even a lot of young people are going for Trump as well. I mean, you know, you could pull if you pull the stats. He's got the numbers supporting him.
Here's the thing: people don't like Biden now because he's funding a war.
Listen,
but
it has nothing
he
to
would have done. Trump would have done the exact same thing. So truly, we can't win here.
First of all, anybody who's going to go about the war thing, if Trump was still there, I truly believe that we wouldn't be this far into having a war because Trump was crazy enough to push that button. All right, you had a guy who had everybody at peace. All right, you had a guy who had world affairs in order. You had a guy that had everything under control. And I'm not even going to say it's about Biden. My problem with Biden goes back to a very simple statement that I've made numerous times. Elder abuse, all right? The poor guy, all right, I don't think he knows where he's at. The very fact that he's ushered out everywhere by the arm, by an aide, let's be honest, that's got to be a nurse.
I mean, it's not a good look for sure. It's definitely not a good look.
I've said this once. I'll say it a million times. Shame on his children for putting their father through that. Shame on his wife for letting him do that. Shame on.
Isn't Hunter Biden like a druggie? Like heavy?
Like he's got his own issues. But I'm just saying. But I do feel for the man. Like, you know, he comes down to a press conference, doesn't know where he's going. I heard this is where the ice cream is, you know. The guy doesn't know what's going on. I don't even think he knows what day it is half the time.
Does anyone know who Bo Burnham is?
Yes.
Do you know his song? It's like, how is the best case scenario, Joe Biden? That's all I can think of right now. This whole time.
I mean, we need...
Which I don't agree with. But I don't think there's a best case scenario here, if I'm completely honest. Kennedy, 2024.
No.
I'm voting for whoever Taylor Swift backs. I'm just waiting for Taylor Swift to put her money behind the horse.
I think, like, real talk, I'm the political scientist that hates politics, truly. I could avoid this topic all day. I think I genuinely might vote for Kennedy so I can avoid the other two. If I'm completely honest.
But I don't know. Look, to each their own. When it comes down to platform policy and politics,
that is if he lasts. He could drop out.
When it comes down to platform policy and politics, there's you know, and especially on what I believe for my faith, I gotta go for the man that's supporting the.
But
Christians.
The thing is, Trump can talk all this thing, but he's very much going into a little bit of the church and state territory that he can't cross.
What do you mean? Church and state was never meant to take church out of government.
You're right, but it was very much meant that you can't implement a state church, which is kind of a little bit sounding like what he's trying to do here.
What he's doing is he's giving church back their rights. which this last administration has stripped away. When was the last time we had a powerful day of prayer here in the country? They stripped that away. Look at how much infringement we've had. We give the LGBTQ community whatever they want. We give all these different wokeness movements everything they want. But as a church, our rights have been trampled on. We can't do anything because we're offensive, because we're not woke. What Trump is simply doing is he's giving a voice back to the Christian. He's giving a voice back to the believer. Again.
But what about every other religion? I know we're Christians and we're rooting for Christians here.
When has every other religion been stifled? The current state of the country allows every other religion to do whatever they want. The Christians are the only ones that are silenced. You want to pray 5 times a day to Allah? You can. They'll give you a break at work. You tell your boss at work that you need to step out to pray to God, like because you're a Christian. They're gonna be like, "Oh, don't start with that Christian nonsense."
Well, that's you sue the government. I mean, sue the company, not the government.
Or if you're Jewish and you have your religious beliefs, they accommodate. But if you're a Christian,
Jewish have been repressed enough. Okay.
No, and I'm not saying this as a hater against the other religions, and I'm not trying to sound like a bigot. What I'm saying is the only rights that are being infringed upon are the rights of the Christian. And we need somebody that's going to come into office and give us back our rights. Listen, we're living at a time where the trumpet is going to sound. The rapture is coming. Christ is coming back for his church. And if we're silenced, we can't do our jobs. What is our jobs? Our jobs is to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. Our jobs is to talk about John 3:16. Our job is to be like Hulk Hogan and speak up. Mark Wahlberg has had no problem doing this, right? You see Mark Wahlberg all over the place with the ash on his forehead, right? Talking about how he proclaims his faith, We have to be able to do this in a way that we're not stifled. And unfortunately, government is in a place right now where they're silencing us because apparently we're the bad guys. But we're not the minority. We're just silenced, So when it comes to the voting booth for me, who's going to let me run my mouth? That's what I'm going to be looking for.
Yeah, I agree with the statement you're making. I'm just hesitant to call Trump our hero that we're looking for.
I'll tell you what, he did it last time. Why wouldn't he do it again?
I understand, but and I get that. I'm not saying it's all bad, but it's also not all good.
But also, just because history can repeat itself doesn't mean it always will.
Well, let's say Trump. Let's give Trump the benefit of the doubt because he is speaking.
In my mind, he doesn't deserve that.
Positively, I'm saying for conversation's sake.
But you also have to, and I get that. But you also have to back up your statement. He's proven himself. Okay, forget about the stuff that the left wants you to believe in the sense of his convictions, because there's no bigger crook than the people that are crooks than the people that are in office right now. I mean, if you want to talk about conspiracies and all that. I mean, Biden has been sweeping all the stuff for his kids while he's in office.
He's like, I'm not a Biden fan. Like, don't get me twisted. I don't like that. I don't like Uncle Joe either. I don't like him either. I don't like either of them, and I don't think either of them are the best case scenario. I think they're both bad.
And you're supporting Kennedy because
his TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah, no, his TikTok that showed all of his policies, and I agreed with, specifically the affordable housing one that he's pushing.
And who's going to pay for that?
And he's also trying to bring back the middle class.
And who's going to pay for that?
The middle class.
The middle class he's trying to bring back.
Where does money for government come from?
Taxes.
Okay, and who's going to pay for that?
We already pay taxes, Josh.
Who pays taxes?
Us.
Not the billionaires. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, eat the rich. I've been saying this since I was in middle school, homie. Eat the rich. I'm just saying.
But the rich will never fully pay, because here's what happens. You start taking all the money for the rich, they're going to take their money to other countries where they get tax shelters. You see, the problem is that we all think that this money is going to just magically appear. And this is the problem with leftist thinking and mentality about social programming. You see, under Trump, what I respected about his policy is that, yeah, he taxed people, but he built something where taxes could actually be, or income could be generated through reasonable revenue. All these programs have to be funded, and everybody's like, oh, it's going to come through taxes. It's going to be coming through taxes. But when you look at the current tax situation that we find ourselves in, most people don't really pay taxes. I mean, let's be honest. You're going to see everyone's going to see their tax people right now to file their income tax return. Most of y'all ain't paying taxes.
I did that stuff myself.
Yeah, and do you get a return or do you get a bill?
I get a return.
Okay, so most people ain't paying taxes.
Well, that's also because I'm a mother. I did pay stuff. But you realize I didn't even make $10K this year, so.
My thing is, like I said, like Trump is speaking up for the church, which is good for us. He's handing on the platter here, guys. What I'm doing for you. My problem is what he sneaks into the back door while we're looking at the shiny thing that he's doing for us, because he's not all good. And even Trump supporters be like, yeah, I know, like he's bad in this, and this, but he's helping the church, which is good, which I agree with that, which is good for the church and good for Christianity. But I'm kind of looking at the big picture that kind of sneaks in the back door while we're focusing on what we should, which is getting our voice back and not being stifled like unlike other religions or groups. So that's where I'm not fully sold on Trump. Yes, he's talking religious leaders, trying to get the Christian voice back. Good. The other stuff that he brought last time, tough policy, but reckless at times. Race relations, which I'm concerned about as an African American or a Native American in this country, was the worst it's been in a long time. Overall, not everywhere, but overall, which is fine. Like people say, oh, well, I live here, I don't see it. But if I go on to a state where these people are holding these race issues and using Trump as their backing, even if Trump's not officially or not officially saying, hey guys, do this, they're doing it with Trump at their back as their trumpet blower, I have to kick that in account as well. So that's kind of why it's like 50-50, some of it's good, what outweighs the bad.
I'm going to premise what I originally said. My original statement when this all was going down is that if he was smart, he would have been a kingmaker. Okay? But that didn't happen. It looks like the man is trying to rebrand himself because you can see that as he takes this election with the whole trying to put his foot in his mouth less than he did last time. You see him not being as picking on his opponents as much, but he also doesn't have to. I mean, he's killing everybody by like crazy points, So maybe this time he's smartening up. Do I agree with what you're saying? Yeah, I agree with you with what you're saying on a lot of should he focus on maybe if he wins this time, maybe he should focus on running the country instead of being like the Twitter and Facebook
I don't know. I keep
macho man.
Keep on Twitter. I kind of liked him on Twitter.
But what do I take away from this? What's the job of the president? Run the country the way you need to. In terms of running the economy, great job with GDP. In terms of running the economy, best housing market that we had in a long time. Low interest rates, housing market was thriving, businesses were thriving, gas prices were low not because we were dipping into the reserves. We had enough reserves where we were able to produce. We were on the verge of selling oil to other countries where we could be an exporter versus just an importer. Looking at entrepreneurship, small businesses were thriving. Looking at like all the things that matter to me in terms of like the country and that part, the business side, you did a great job. Most importantly to me, because let's be honest, this world is going to burn soon, and I'm not saying that to be scary, but when that time comes, where that, like I said, that trumpet sounds and we're called up to meet our Messiah in the air. None of this is going to matter. And to me, with the biggest part that I'm looking for now is who's going to pave the way for us to speak up. He's made big. He's always been big supporter of the evangelical church. The rest of the stuff, yeah, there's some issues there. But you know what? Every one of these politicians, find me a politician that's clean, man.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
And with the Kennedys, forget about it. I mean, come on, that's a family. The Kennedys. You want to talk about the Kennedys? Come on now, shake their hand and watch out for your rings. And I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but the Kennedys.
If he drops out, I'm just gonna write him in. Just saying.
Bring him back.
But the point that I'm making is, this country's at a crossroads, and we're seeing things that are just unimaginable. Thank God that God keeps His promises, like in the time of Noah. When he promised that he would never flood the earth again,
Oh no, man, Pawtucket Ave's getting kind of.
We get a lot of flood warnings.
Getting a little close.
I mean, we see things now that are just crazy. We see things happening in this world that are just unimaginable. I mean, just that little snippet that you read where Miami, Florida, all those counties had to close because of the stupidity that takes place, the humanity that's taken place down during spring break. And that's just a small snippet of what we've seen. Just the craziness we've seen over these past few years with the violence and the hate and the disgustingness of the bigotry that still exists, even, going back to some of the stuff you were saying. Yeah, there's no place for that. And, this world has gotten crazy. Our people have gotten divided, and, even amongst families. And one of the things, and the only thing that we can offer is the message of hope. And honestly, it's becoming harder to do that, because the more we try to offer that message of hope, and the more people, try to silence us, and we get silenced through all these technicalities. We get silenced through all these rules. We get silenced through all these misconceptions that, when we try to offer this message of hope, that we're not accepting, and that we're not, that we're this club, that the church is just this club of people that are hyper religious, and that we're holier than thou. And you know what? Unfortunately, as the body of Christ, there are a lot of churches that are like that, where they look down on people, and shame on you if you're one of those believers that you're holier than thou, whatnot, because if you're reading the same Bible that I read, it teaches us that the Son of God came for everybody, and he spent his time with the lowliest of people. And I don't know about you guys, but I know that in my time of need, I was part of that club, the lowliest of people, and that I've messed up big. And thank God that when I fell to my knees and I repented, and I cried out to God and I asked him to forgive me, that taking ownership of the things I did, taking ownership of my sin, taking ownership and asking God to forgive me of it, was good enough for God to forgive me. And that's the message that we have to do as a church. That's all that matters. That what matters now is reaching out to the lost and crying out to those who are broken, and telling them that there is a God that still wants them and still loves them, because there's coming a time where this is all going to be over. And there's two choices. We could spend an eternity with our Savior, worshiping in the presence of God, or we could spend eternity, as the Bible describes, with a gnashing of teeth, separated from God, And there's two destinations. There's heaven and there's hell, and that's it. In the article that I share with Hulk Hogan, he's wearing a shirt with John 3:16. God loved the world so much that he sent his only son, that whoever believes in him shall never perish, but have everlasting life. And in 17 it says, he didn't send his son to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Well, as we go into this season, as we go through this madness, that's all I'm saying. Am I saying that we have perfect choices? No, because my dude got voted out. He's supporting Trump now. He's what was it?
Vivek, yeah.
I like that dude. Dude needed some new material. He kept using the same speech over and over again. I think he bought like a discount sale on. I think he was only able to afford like one speech. Because it was like the same one. He just changed like the insert city here, where he was speaking. But you know what? We are where we're at. So we'll see. And for the love of God, I do pray for Joe Biden all the time. I feel for the dude. Guys,
he's old.
And he just doesn't look healthy, man.
He doesn't.
He just doesn't look healthy. Like, guys tripping over him. So, I kid you not. There used to be a time where this country, the president of this country, used to be the most respected position in the world. And like, these people are being unfair to that man. Like, give him some dignity, dude.
He's president first, so I'm not gonna be disrespectful. But he's great. He's someone's grandpa. He's grandpa age.
Grandpa Joe.
And
But it's not even his fault.
He's feeling that age.
I can't even say it's his fault, because I feel like the man doesn't know what's going on. I feel like he just reads the teleprompter. And he doesn't know what's going on until they bring him there. And then Kamala Harris isn't helping him out. When was the last time you seen her? They got her hidden somewhere.
Yeah,
like
she is checked out.
So like, who are the puppet masters right now? The liberals are just doing what they're doing.
If he wins again, he'll be like almost 90
I
by the
don't know how
time they
pull
vote
it out.
him out.
I honestly, I have in my gut, I feel like there's a bait and switch going to take place.
I'm genuinely convinced if he wins again, he's going to die in office.
I just, like I said, I just feel for the man. That man should be home enjoying his grandchildren and just living out the rest of his days.
Like, I'm not manifesting that in existence. But
No, but anyone can see it. The guy doesn't look healthy, and I pray for the man. He is the president of the United
doesn't
States.
he have cancer? That's the king of England. Sorry, my bad.
Dang, girl.
My bad.
We apologize, Biden family.
You're getting
we are
the
not, we are
elder
not,
people.
we are not, this is not libel against Joe Biden.
That's the king. Never
But-
mind.
I don't know. But in any case, listen, I don't know if you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Reach out to us if you do not. If you do know Christ as your Savior and you've fallen off that track, reach out to us and we want to get you back on track. Maybe you want a Bible. You don't have one. You want to get plugged into a local church. We can hook you up with one. You want to come to our church. We'd love to have you at Saving Grace in North Providence. We're located at 1 Volturno Street, North Providence, Rhode Island. We worship every Sunday morning at 10:30. We have midweek Bible prayer and worship. It's not Bible study anymore. Now it's called prayer and worship. We are an official tabernacle spot. I think that's what they call it. I apologize if I messed it up. Basically, what it means is we're a prayer spot in Rhode Island. We pray for people's needs, and we'd love to have you join us for prayer and worship on Wednesday nights at 6:30, same location, 1 Volturno Street in North Providence, Rhode Island. Sunday mornings, we have the Bible workshop, great Sunday school for adults, where you can learn God's Word. But maybe you're not from around here. You want a local church in your area where you can plug in and get to know God as your personal Savior, get closer to God. We can find you a nice place. We have a good chain of churches that we're connected with, a good fellowship of churches that we're connected with that get you plugged in, good Bible following churches. Or if you want to watch us online, CC, it's been a while. You can check us out live every Sunday. How they find us?
On Facebook at Saving RI or YouTube.
Nice. I knew you still had. See, it's embedded in you. You can also go to our website, www.savinggrace.church. Everything you can find is there. Or our podcast page, www.temporaryinsanitypodcast.com. Temporaryinsanitypodcast.com. Listen, we've missed you guys. We're glad to be back with you. And hopefully you like kind of our new little setup. We had a little bit of fun today. Get to talk about a little bit of everything. Get some sports, get some legal stuff. Next week we'll try to get Sierra fired up again. See, she started getting a little fired up here at the end. So you got to taste a little bit of it.
Trump just gets mad.
Just gets the fire going.
I'm gonna get a little Trump stuffed doll so I can just put it on the desk here and I'll hide it. And then when I want to get it fired up, I'll just show her the little doll,
His stupid little face. His stupid little voice.
Can you get the ones that's in his shoes, like the new gold shoes they try to put out? Those
Extra
are funny.
point if it talks and his dumb little voice happens.
Oh, I'll get one that says fake news. Hey, and check out our behind the scenes. It'll be out in a few hours. So thanks for tuning in this week. It's great to catch up with all of you guys. We love you all, and we will see you next week. Next week we'll have a little more Bible stuff. I know we're a little light on the Bible stuff this week, but we're getting back into the swing. And pray for our country. God knows America needs some prayer. God bless you.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. New episodes drop every Friday at noon. Have a question about our faith or the insane times we live in? Go to our website, www.temporaryinsanitypodcast.com, and record a voice message. It may end up on our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and our YouTube channel at Temporary Insanity Podcast.